Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys. All right, let's talk about this. All right, so now the latest rumor is there's a lot of rumors going around, but that's good for boxing because now we have boxing at its best. Now we got a lot of boxing talk going on, and that's good for people that do boxing only content. Me myself, I don't do boxing only content. So with that being said, the latest word is Bud is saying that he could do the Manny Pacquiao fight without Bob Arum. Well, that's easier said than done because he's still signed to Top Rank. And it's no way in hell Bob Arum is going to let that fight take place without him making some kind of percentage after the way Bob Arum has disrespected Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has said he's willing to let it slide. Hey, if it was me, I wouldn't. He a better man than I am. Now, with that being said, how could this fight be made without Bob Arum? The only way this fight can be made without Bob Arum is Bob Arum signs a waiver where he doesn't take a percentage, but we all know he wants to make money off this fight. Now, depending on what happens with this fight, a lot of things would have to come in play. Could they get a U.S. date? Could they get a U.S. venue with spectators? And of course, this fight would be on pay-per-view. Who would be in charge of the pay-per-view? Would ESPN and Manny Pacquiao don't fight exclusively for Fox or Showtime. I think if this fight was really going to come to fruition, I think Steven Espinosa and Showtime would step in and try to get this fight made. But I think it has to be basically really in serious negotiations, serious talks are happening. Now, like I said, Manny Pacquiao to me has shown no indication that he's serious about fighting Terrence Bud Crawford. At the end of the day, we'll know soon who Manny Pacquiao is going to fight. Now, will it be Errol Spence? Will it be Terrence Crawford? Will it be Mikey Garcia? Will it be Conor McGregor? Now, you looking at styles as far as Manny Pacquiao, who he would do better against. I don't think Terrence Crawford style meshes well with Manny Pacquiao. I don't think Terrence Crawford style is good for Manny Pacquiao. But on the flip side, Terrence Crawford does make some mistakes when he fights. Now, if Manny Pacquiao is willing to get punched a lot and willing to get battered, if he's willing to do the Marquez thing where he basically give away rounds and get Terrence Crawford so comfortable to where Terrence Crawford get reckless and he land that one shot that puts Terrence Crawford's lights out, then okay. But at the end of the day, he could take so much punishment to where he may not get a chance to wait for one shot. So it's interesting to see that fight, but I think Terrence Crawford's style is bad for Manny Pacquiao's. Now, Errol Spence, Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. I think Errol Spence has the brute strength to keep Manny Pacquiao at bay, but at the end of the day, can Errol Spence turn and does he have the footwork to keep up with Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao is jumping in and out? It would have to be one of those fights where, like I said, Errol Spence just bullies Manny Pacquiao. He uses his brute strength to keep Manny Pacquiao up against the ropes and push him back. So whose style is more fittable for Manny Pacquiao? Who would Manny Pacquiao rather fight? Well, I think both styles pose a problem to Manny Pacquiao, but I think maybe worst case scenario, he would take Errol Spence over Bud Crawford. Like I said, and don't come here, for real, no Errol Spence fanboys. I'm just making a point. Don't come here being a fanboy because, like I said, I'm ready to block you. I already done blocked one motherfuckers, and I'll do it again. I'm just making a point. Don't get too, don't get too emotional and, you know what I'm saying, for real, and caught up in your feelings. I'm just making a point. Now, Mikey Garcia. Not really shown to be a big puncher at higher weight class. I mean, at the end of the day, he did okay versus Jesse Vargas. But you have to wonder, would Mikey Garcia be able to get out of the way when Manny Pacquiao starts launching those 4 or 5 combinations on him? would he be able to get out the way and be able to slip Manny Pacquiao punches to get out the way? One thing about Floyd took that away from Manny Pacquiao. Because Floyd would hit Manny Pacquiao and he would turn Manny Pacquiao. He would be on the other side of Manny Pacquiao before Manny Pacquiao could turn him. So that's why Floyd was able to beat Manny Pacquiao with ease. Now, we know Conor McGregor, not a real fighter. He would pretty much be target practice for Manny Pacquiao. I don't see that fight going longer than 4 rounds. Okay. But at the end of the day, people would watch it because people would have this sense that Conor McGregor could actually outbox Manny Pacquiao, and that's just a false sense of hope. So you looking at the options. But let's get back to Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford. I will believe it when I see it. Once again, the same thing with the Kell Brook fight. Kell Brook has a history of pulling out of fights. So that's why a lot of people were hesitant to believe in this fight. Now, like I said, a lot of people was praying that this fight didn't happen. You had a lot of people praying that Kell Brook would win this fight. And the same thing is going to happen with Manny Pacquiao. There are going to be a lot of people, if Terrence Crawford does land a fight, once again, you're going to have these fake whole tip pro-black niggas that, want to inconsistently be pro-black when it convenes them. They're going to be secretly, once again, rooting for, a non-black to be the black fighter. But they swear to God they all for black people, but then they don't want to see 2 black fighters fight and make a lot of money because they trying to play promoter and negotiator. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. I'm going to keep saying that shit because, like I said, I'm going to call it how I see it. Ask me, do I give a rat's ass? But nevertheless, we'll see what happens. I just doubt very seriously if Bob Arum is going to let Terrence Crawford set up a fight of this magnitude without him being involved one way or another. Anyway, this your boy Town Biz. I'm out.